So moving on, I don't know if you heard much about this. I know when you did your predictions, I think you said if Michael Thomas is back from an injury, the Saints are going to win. Well, it turns out Michael Thomas did come back from an injury and in practice decided to just pick a fight with a player and pretty much got suspended for last Monday night's game. Do you know much about it? Do you think this is really being blown out of proportion or
I don't know. It looks like I want to say that something there was more that happened to it that led up to him being suspended, and I think he just got fined and potentially like voided his guarantees or something like that because there's like that verbiage in the contract. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I didn't read much into it. I think there was more that led up to that for them to be like, all right, let's suspend him because I feel like fights happen all the time. So I feel like there was a lot more heading into that just random outburst for them to be like, no, that's it, you can't. Because I'd imagine if he's fought a guy for the first time, I'd imagine like the team would sit down the guys like listen what the fuck happened or whatever. Especially when he's a star player because they're on a looser leash and they're more lenient with a player like him. If it was just some practice squad bozo coming in trying to suplex people, like, all right, get off the fucking team. So, I mean, just I could be totally wrong, but I think a lot more happened before that incident that led them to be like, all right, we're going to suspend you and fine you and all that shit.
yeah, I think this kind of might be people might be blowing it out of proportion, but there are stories coming out saying that New Orleans doesn't want to play. They did have that kind of clause in his contract, kind of like Earl Thomas, where if he did something that was detrimental to the team, that he could get cut without like getting paid or a cap hit. So teams are saying that New Orleans kind of might even want to move on from Michael Thomas, and this was kind of their way of blowing it out of proportion, so they don't have to pay him that whatever cap hit or whatever, and they're you know almost starting to move on from him. Do you think that is the case? I mean, this guy is your franchise.
You, you know what that's labeled?
Hmm.
That's a power move. That's interesting. I mean, honestly, the way NFL teams and businesses run, they're they're pretty cutthroat, and that's some shit that they would do. It'd be really interesting to let a player like that go. And I mean, I guess if you want to go with the meme culture, it's not that hard to replace a 4 yard slant. But
Well, you bring
he,
that up because they're saying that this all started way back when he got into a beef with Devontae Parker, who didn't even come at him. He just said that it's harder to play against Stephon Diggs than it is to cover Michael Thomas, and they just decided to go back at it on Instagram, and they're saying that his, I guess, unhappiness for with whatever it might be might even be showing back then, and it just boiled over now in practice.
right, and that's what I'm saying. It could be that there was a lot of rumblings probably in the locker room. He's probably telling Drew Brees, like, dude, you're going to get your noodle arm to go past 5 yards. I'm tired of these 4 yard slants. Sean Payton, get your Dumbo ears out of my fucking way. I can't see the ball. I can imagine that a lot of that stuff was going on, and then finally he went and put up the fisticuffs against this fucking random corner. And well, he's actually a pretty good corner. So and then they're finally like, all right, I'm sick of this clown. Fucking fine him. We don't need him. And his fucking Squidward head or well, not Squidward. What does he have? Squidward's house, right? And I'm just trying to think of all the
Squidward's
memes.
house.
He has like a stone head. Anyway,
Oh yeah, yeah.
um, those are pretty funny. But anyway, I that's why to me I feel like there's a ton of frustration boiling over, like boiling, and then just finally it just reached its you know spillover, and it caused this. And it would be like I said, it would be interesting to see if the I could see NFL teams through and through doing that, knowing that oh hey, in his contract it says if he ever gets into an altercation with a player, we could fine him and cut his guarantees. Let's do it. Fuck it, because they care about
Yeah.
their money. They can care less about Michael Thomas. So I don't know, really interesting, and I think, especially considering the whole offseason they had with the Drew Brees and how they're able to weather the storm when he said what he said about the flag and this and that. And, everyone is against him and the Saints were backing him up and this and that going back and forth. They're able to weather that storm. Now they got to weather this one. Who knows how they approach it, but it'll be interesting to see the season going forward if he decides to run past 4 yards to see if Drew Brees can hit him.
Yeah, and it's crazy because he just signed that huge contract with New Orleans, almost kind of guaranteeing he'll be there for a while. It almost seems like the Saints don't think he has a future there if Drew Brees isn't there. Like Taysom Hill won't throw him those slants or something. Thank you for listening in to this clip of the Moose Bros podcast. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment below, and subscribe to this channel to see more clips just like this one. If you want to listen to the whole podcast, you can find us at Spotify or Apple Podcasts under Moose Bros Sports.